The Half-Assed Podcast Network proudly presents the Super Sunday Sports Spectacular.
Super Sunday Sports Spectacular.
Starring Samo and Joe Vegas.
Starring Samo and Joe Vegas.
They're going to take you through the week that was in sports and recap all of the activity. And maybe even have some sound effects and imaging.
Whoa, get it in close now.
So crack a cold one, listening audience, because the Super Sunday Sports Spectacular is here on the Half-Assed Podcast Network. You're welcome.
You survived NASCAR, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty beat from the long weekend out in the heat, like camping out in the heat, no air conditioning and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm tired for you, honestly.
Yeah. I'm sure it's hotter there than it is here, but 90 and humid is
No, it's not. It's been like 90-ish the
okay.
last like 4 days, and obviously dry, so much easier to deal with
Yeah,
than humidity. So
it's 90 and awful humidity right now. Yeah.
no, I've been sick for like 2 weeks, just like not able to get over whatever this cold is. So I am tired for you, without a doubt.
Sorry to hear that. Hope you're on the mend.
Yeah, happens, What do you do?
Yeah.
Hasn't stopped me from, drinking on occasion or going to work every day.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, you want to start with NASCAR?
Sure. If you like.
Yeah. I'm interested in hearing about it.
Yeah, so I drove home this morning from the racetrack. Woke up 7, 8 o'clock or so, and started packing everything up and left, and did go to work today also. Planned that wonderfully. But yeah, so we were there. I got there Friday morning, and there is a truck race Friday night. There's the Xfinity Series race Saturday night. So basically the same cars you see NASCAR is just smaller engine, I guess, than the NASCAR ones. And then the big race, the NASCAR Cup race, was on Sunday. So went to all three of them, placed some bets, did not win any bets.
I was gonna say, I don't think you did. Who won the main one?
The main one was Chase Briscoe.
Oh, nice.
Denny Hamlin was one of my picks in that one, and he finished second. So
Was it close or not really? Or
yeah, I mean, it was like, I would say the last so what it came down to, it was actually interesting because we were, I mean, it's hard to watch 160 laps of a race, which is what this one was.
Yeah.
But definitely, and I know you subscribe to this too, like the last 10, 20 laps can get really interesting, really exciting when
For
things
sure.
have shaped up. And it's when, who pitted when, who took gas, who took tires, and it really came down to that at the end. So Briscoe, I think, led the last 5 laps with about the same lead over Hamlin. And when I say, I think it was a difference of a couple seconds. When you're looking at it, it looks like 5 or 6 car lengths. So everybody was keenly watching those last 5 laps all the way around, knowing exactly what was going on. I think a lot of people were thinking that maybe Briscoe was going to run out of gas, and he did not.
Wow.
So he finished kind of on fumes, but timed it up just perfectly and won the race.
I mean, that would have been something.
If you just ran out of gas, like right
Yeah,
before.
that'd be a way to lose.
It happens, because
Right.
at a certain point, if you pit, you're definitely going to lose. So at that point, you just roll the dice. So yeah, so that one was pretty interesting. And if we work our way backwards, well, let's start with the truck race. So if you remember, I was not aware that Frankie Muniz had a new career, and we talked about some of this before the
I
race.
knew he raced. I didn't know he
Okay.
did trucks also. I knew he did some kind of, whether it's stock car or whatever. I knew he did something.
Okay, I was not aware until I saw his name on there, and I kind of laughed that he had the same name as Malcolm in the Middle. And my friend said, "No, that's Malcolm in the Middle," and I was like, "Well,
Right.
I'm betting on him." And he said he's just going to finish in the middle. And
Yeah.
that's what he did. He was 18th out of 35. Malcolm finished directly in the middle. So what can I say?
Nice.
He did also walk past us and was taking pictures with people.
He's
And
little, isn't he?
what's that?
He's little, isn't he?
He is little. He was taking a picture with what looked like about a 12-year-old, and they were eye to eye when they took that picture.
Yeah.
So yeah. My friend, as he was walking past, my friend did yell at him, try not to finish in the middle, you know. But
Any reaction or?
no reaction. He definitely heard us though, because he was walking right past us on pit row. So let me tell you about the setup too. It's pretty cool. So the infield camping, which is where we were all weekend, what amazes me is you can like before I went, I assumed at some point they just like close the infield and nobody can go in and nobody can go out because the race is going around it. Not true. There is a tunnel that you can all during the race, you can either drive your car in and out directly underneath the track, or you can walk in another
Really?
tunnel underneath to the stands, which is amazing to me that you can do that. Uh, so, some of the qualifying, some of the beginning of the races, we could actually see from our campsite, and we would just climb up to the top of the camper and watch some of it. And then we always wandered over to the stadium and the grandstands and watched, the rest, if not all of it. But when you're walking from the infield to the track, there's what they call the paddock and pit row, and you can see the cars coming in and out of their garages, which is pretty cool. You can see them working on the cars. Sometimes the drivers come up to the fence and sign autographs and stuff, but you can really see everything. It's pretty
That's
amazing
cool.
how
Yeah,
close you get.
that would be fun.
And again, now I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but like this stuff up close, man, is amazing. When you see a car go 190 miles an hour, like directly past you, it is exhilarating. And like the sound is unlike anything you've heard anywhere else. Like a jet plane is the closest thing you can kind of compare it to, you know?
Well,
Um,
I would say NASCAR is probably maybe at the top of the list of a sporting event better in person than on TV.
100%. Yep.
Like I mean, I don't know. Hockey's on that list for me also.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think a race would probably be one of the highest.
Yeah, for sure. Um, So Frankie didn't win. I didn't have high hopes for him. He was plus 50,000 anyway. So I put $3 on him
Wow.
to win $1,500. And so that's
Nice.
not a surprise. And as you said in text before, he's not a long shot, he's a no shot. And
Right.
that's true. But
Wow. I mean, I was kind of excited for a minute. Those three that we bet were hanging around in that
yeah,
in that Xfinity race.
yeah, there was one guy, so he finished fourth, I think. I forget his name, but one of the guys, one of the extreme long shots we picked, finished fourth, which was that's striking distance. That's one car bumping two cars to the front, you know.
I don't. So seeing a 2,000 to 1 in Xfin in anything is insane.
Yeah.
You don't get that in golf, like a major in golf. You don't get. So I was like, what is the difference in these races where these guys can't win? I mean,
Yeah, so that, and I don't know it too well. I was there with a buddy that knows it better than me, and some of it, qualifying where your starting position is does factor in
right.
pretty greatly to it. So when you're looking at these betting lines, like I was getting ready to bet, and he's like, "They haven't even qualified. What are you betting for?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Does it really make that big of a difference?" And he's like, "Yeah." So, I
I mean,
guess
I guess, yeah, but
but I guess there's advantages and disadvantages. If you bet before they qualify, then you could get a value on someone. You could get them at 400 and then they finish, then they got the pole position and then it might drop
right.
to plus 200 or it could go the other way. So I ended up doing a couple bets before qualifying, a couple bets after, and none of them worked, but but it's still fun. It's always good to have something on the line. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna take a couple matchup bets, but then when there was weather, I don't. It's like a crapshoot.
yep.
Like you can't really um handicap it for weather, and so I just kind of. And then they pulled a lot of the bet. So I would say NASCAR betting not huge in Vegas, right? I couldn't find any Truck Series bets that I could get in. I only found one app that had the Xfinity race, and then they pulled all the bets for like the normal start time, but wasn't it like 3 hours late?
Yep.
So I don't know why they didn't put the odds back up, but they
Hmm.
didn't have them. So
Oh, they didn't have any. They didn't put them back
not
down
like
at all.
not like in the last hour before the race started.
Wow. So I think there's a possibility. They ended up getting it in on time, but there's no lights at Pocono, so they can't run at night once the sun goes
Oh,
down. They got to call it like golf. Um, and what I was hearing was they have at times just shortened it. In other words, just to get it in. So if it was supposed to be 160 laps and the sun goes down, they know the sun's going to go down at 120. They just call it 120 instead. So if I'm thinking maybe that could have factored into the betting, they're not going to pull it back out there if they don't even know how many of their laps they're going, or if they'll get it in at all, kind of thing.
right.
There was going to be a rain makeup of today. If they couldn't get it in at all yesterday, they were going to run it today, which would have really been
What would you have done?
probably would have stayed.
Yeah,
Stayed and had to call out of work, but I was going to stay. I mean, I wasn't going to go the weekend and miss like the main race.
right.
So I'm glad they got it in today, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We also bet on Jack Wood in the truck race.
Okay.
Only because of the name. I mean, Jack Wood,
Yeah.
holy shit. You know, imagine growing up as Jack Wood.
So then did you like get after it last night? Were you guys, you know,
Yeah, so the scene in the infield is, I mean, everybody's got their setups, and there's live band, there's a stage with live bands, there's food trucks, there's a moonshine cart. So we had our beers, we had some Jack Daniels that we're mixing with Coke and stuff. So we had our stash, and then we were going over to where the stage was and mixing it up with those guys some. Um, there's a Pocono Punch they sell there too. That's like basically like a red Kool-Aid that's alcoholic.
yeah.
I'm sure is wonderful for you, but it tastes awesome.
So do you get after it like us in Vegas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the first day, we all hit it pretty hard. The second day, we're like, all right, downshift a little bit,
Right.
and then the third day, we knew where we were at. But yeah, it's definitely a scene there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds I'm not a big camper. I mean, if you actually have a camper,
Yep.
that's a little different, um but I mean that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
So,
And in the second race, real quick, didn't win. Actually, the winner's name was Zilich, which is exactly how much I won in the race. So didn't win that one either. But yeah, it was a good time all weekend. So,
well, we're gonna have to find a way to get you back into the winning ways of betting. We'll put that as one of our topics today because I've been pretty cold myself, and now we got this like kind of lull before football. It's only baseball left,
big time.
you know.
So on that note, if we take it into basketball, I had one more bet that I made over the weekend that also did not win, and it was
Okay.
TJ McConnell for Finals MVP. Which again, admittedly, was a long shot. But after that game six, and with Halliburton, like maybe he's not going to play. I just felt like he was just like a smart long shot.
Well, so I thought about that during the game last night, which I don't know if you were able to catch any of it.
Some of it on
Uh,
my phone, yeah.
but the way he was playing, if they had come back and won, and if he was their leading scorer and best player like he was I don't know how they could have given it to anyone else.
Right.
Maybe Siakam just because of a better average, but like to have such a great game 6 and 7, and I think they would have had to give it to him.
Yeah. So yeah, even though it was a long shot, I thought there was a path for him to win it. And you talk about Halliburton. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to Tatum. And I know these guys are trying to be tough, and I know it's the finals and all, but if you're hurt, you're hurt, man. Like, this is they were talking about how many more ruptured Achilles there are. Well, how about stop shooting yourself up with pain shots, when you're obviously hurt just for one more game kind of thing. Because this is when it's happening, you
Well,
know.
so what I want to know, what I'm interested in knowing, and we'll never know, is the extent of the calf strain. right? It happened to Durant, then he ruptured his Achilles. It happened to Tatum. Now Halliburton. This is three examples, I believe, of calf strains that have gone that route.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm seven-time marathoner. I've had calf strains forever. You know what I mean? And it's an endurance event, so it's not, explosive movement, so it's very different. But I'm sort of a believer in if you have calf pain, you can play, you can run, you can whatever. It's just the extent of it. What
Right.
grade is the strain type of thing. I, I'm sort of a believer in, especially because he played well in game six. I don't see how he could have sat out game seven. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
bad luck. It's bad luck, unfortunately. Um, but like I I'm the guy who still talks shit about Jay Cutler for sitting out with a knee sprain in the NFC Championship game. So,
Yeah.
like you get that far, you gotta play, right?
I think I mean, that's how they feel about it. And it's the finals. So it's like, well, there's only one more game, kind of thing. And that's how they feel about it. But again, several times the examples you gave, it ends in that. And yeah, like how serious is it? I think it's safe to say that if it was a normal game, they would not be playing, or even an early round playoff game, they wouldn't be playing. But they were, especially like Halliburton, they were talking like, could he even play in game six? And he did. And it's like, all right, yeah, you're tough, you're there for your team, but he was it was game five. Halliburton had 0 points, right? So I think it was
Yeah,
game
yeah,
five.
that was a bad one. Yeah.
And then he came back and he played okay in game six, but he
No,
was
he
also
was pretty
shot
good in
up
game
with
six. He was solid.
yeah,
I
but he
was
was shot up with the
surprised.
painkillers, and now you're selling yourself to the devil, your soul to the devil with that. And then we saw what happened in game seven. So
It's a tough one. It's a tough
yeah,
one. And obviously in retrospect, and now we can say shouldn't have done it, but
yep.
um
I do
let's
think after 8 ruptured Achilles in the NBA, which is what we had this year, I do think that the coaches and the teams are going to have to rethink it a little bit. That know that the player's a warrior, he's going to want to go, especially in those situations. But you have to sometimes make the decision for them and say,
so I ran my own basketball league for a number of years when I was out here and while in Minnesota a little bit. I believe I saw four or five just in that. And most of the time it was just pretty random.
yeah.
Like it was
Well, that's usually when they are, is
like a
they're
guy
random.
would step wrong and, like his foot went out from under. It's just really weird. So I wonder about how much of it is with age based on, or maybe lack of stretching or lack of fitness or lack of who knows.
Yeah.
It scares me enough to not play. I don't play any pickup ball anymore though. I just like I told Amanda, I said if I rupture my Achilles 45, like that's it for me.
Yeah.
I may never do any physical activity again,
Yeah.
like
I
so
do, I do worry. I've never had a knee injury or an Achilles or anything like that, but I do at my age, and I'm 1 year older than you. I do think about that. I think like this is gonna be it. I'm gonna tear my ACL or something here. There was in the parking lot, there was one of those things where the vert test where you jump up and you hit the sticks and you see how many sticks you can hit.
yeah.
Um, would you like to give a guess? And I have a witness, and I'll give you a hint. My friend was very impressed. I was actually a little surprised at my age that I got
So you
this
know
height.
exactly what your vertical leap
I know
is?
exactly what sticks that I hit. I mean, they're
Okay.
measuring. So you go up and you hit the sticks. So
Yeah.
it tells you how high you touched. Not necessarily what your vertical is, but I'm 6'2", so you can do. I
Okay.
don't know how long my arms are. How high did I touch is the question.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna believe you didn't quite get to 10 feet. I'm gonna say under 10 feet. I'll go 9'6".
So that is exactly where I thought I was going to be. And that was my
Uh-huh.
own prediction for myself before I did it. I touched 10'6".
No way.
Yeah. Yep.
No
I
way.
have a witness. It was 318 centimeters. Yeah. I was pretty
I
surprised myself too.
6 inches above a rim.
Yeah. And back in the day, I could just not quite dunk because I can't palm it, but I could always get rim, and I'd try to dunk it, but it would always go clanking off because I can't palm it. I can't get enough
Yeah.
over there.
All right. We are going to try to maintain this same fitness level until the parade. We are going to find a 10-foot rim and see how accurate the sticks were
All right.
in their measurement. I, if you'd have said 10, I would have been like, okay,
I said
cool.
to them, I think I'm good for 9.5. Exactly what you
Right.
that's what I said. And he put it at 9, and I casually like knocked almost all of them. And I was like, okay. Then he ratcheted it up. So
I believe this is, I know in this day and age, everything is rigged, but this sounds questionable.
okay.
Let's keep it in basketball.
Yep.
So I don't know how much you watched, how much of the finals or the playoffs in general.
I watched a lot of the playoffs. Now last night, being at the race, I was watching it on my phone, and I would say I saw
Right.
about half of Game 7, but I watched most of the playoffs. The key games and matchups and stuff.
All right, I'm gonna start with trivia for you.
Okay.
Can you name, and I won't make you do it by year. Can you name the last five champions,
Ooh. Okay.
NBA champions?
Last 5 NBA champions.
Right.
Okay, so OKC, I don't know if you're counting that one or not.
Correct. Yes.
Denver Nuggets.
They are in there, correct.
It was directly before last year, right?
Not direct. No, 2 years.
2 years ago. Boston. Okay, Boston Celtics, then the
Yes.
Denver Nuggets, um, Milwaukee Bucks,
They are one of them. Yep. And you got one
um,
more.
the Lakers.
That's the sixth one. That was the bubble one. So there's one
Okay.
more since the bubble.
Um, do, 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 do. I
I
can't.
think they're easy to forget also, even though they won 3 and 4 years earlier in the Golden State Warriors.
Oh yeah,
Golden State Warriors got one.
I forgot they had one that
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
And then if you go back to, one more year to 2019, you have the Toronto Raptors. So you
right.
have Toronto Raptors, Lakers in the bubble, Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, Celtics, Thunder. I bring this up for a reason. Um, I don't have the official numbers, but this is unquestionably in our lifetime the longest stretch without like a, you know, we've never had seven different winners in 7 years. We've had teams that, Lakers had a run, Celtics had a run, Bulls, Pistons, Miami Heat, Spurs. We don't have that currently.
Yeah.
And some will say, hey, that's really good for the sport, it's really whatever. Boy, and this is after now. I suppose I have a little bias because the Thunder eliminated Timberwolves, and the year before the Mavericks eliminated Timberwolves Western Conference Finals. But I think we are at unquestionably the worst era of NBA basketball.
Huh.
I think it's this, and look, I'm a bit of a basketball snob, right? I grew up watching Michael Jordan in his prime, as did you. So, this Thunder team is they're not even enjoyable to watch the way they play. They're
So good. Well,
the
they're
foul
strong
baiting,
rebounders. They pass well. Yeah, I
but
mean,
they're foul baiting. Like SGA is a foul baiter, and their guards, Dort and Caruso especially, they just play like football at the line. They play like a defensive back where like you can hit them within 5 yards and they dare the refs to call fouls.
right.
And if they don't, they'll win. And if they do, they'll lose. Like
And
they'll
in the
get blown out.
playoffs, they typically call less fouls, right? I think in the playoffs they let them play it out a little bit more, so then their
Yeah, I
games
mean, I
tend to move
guess.
to the playoffs. Yeah.
So I actually believe um I put it on Twitter recently that I think this Oklahoma City team is quite possibly the worst to win a title of the last 40 years. Now, you can disagree with me, but you have to come up with five that are in the argument of the last 40 years. Okay. So like somebody disagreed with me, said, "Oh, that's a terrible take, man." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Disagree with me, but you got to give me and and if your argument is, well, the Nuggets, okay, or well, the Celtics or the Bucks, well, guess what? Then you're saying we're in the worst era of basketball, which lends weight to my argument that this could be the worst team to ever win a title.
I,
Like,
I mean, obviously my Sixers have had a really rough year last year, but I think basketball is really exciting right now. I think, right now everybody's talking about, oh, the Thunder are going to be a dynasty. They're unbeatable now. But we have that conversation every year. Everybody thought the Celtics were unbeatable. Everybody thought the Nuggets are going to be on this forever run. So
right.
I think right as it does like change from year to year pretty dramatically. Again, 7 champions in 7 years, but I don't agree that that translates to bad basketball. I think we could always strive to have better officiating or hope to have better officiating and more even, calls and stuff like that. But generally speaking, man, the playoffs were this year, they were really exciting. It was great to see. It was great to see the Knicks beat the Celtics because I hate the Celtics, and then it was also great for the Knicks to lose right after that because I don't like the Knicks either. They were just there for a job, and I thought it was pretty enjoyable all the way
I'd
around.
be curious to see the ratings.
Yeah,
Um,
it was definitely not a good finals matchup for ratings. Just
I
me
mean,
talking about
let's think
the
about it
size
this
of
way.
the.
If you think Oklahoma City is a great team and could go toe to toe with any of these teams, let's just pick a team like the Spurs, champions in, 99, 03, 05, 07, and then 14. What's a guy like Chet gonna do a guy against a guy like Tim Duncan or David Robinson or even that bum Hartenstein?
Yeah,
He's gonna get eaten up by Tim Duncan.
it's funny. Chet was, usually the big man on a championship squad is like a legit big man. Chet is pretty flimsy, and not he was definitely not a traditional big man on like a squad. But that's
Right.
that's a team, the Thunder, where everybody plays defense. Everybody's strong and
Right.
everybody plays defense and everybody's tough. So I think you can get away with having kind of a weaselly big man in that situation. But no, I totally agree with you. Shed is a weak link
But
in that line.
he doesn't
Yeah.
even have like an offensive thing that they can exploit against like David Robinson or Duncan. He would just get eaten up. He would just get
Yes,
played off the floor like Rudy Gobert.
100%. Yeah.
Or let's say
He's not as good as Rudy Gobert.
or like what's Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet gonna do against the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh? They're gonna get worked. Or
Yeah.
what are Rodman, Pippen, Jordan, and Kukoc gonna do against this team? Like they're the three main guys on that Bulls team are better than the three main guys on the Thunder.
So this is your argument that why it's the worst era of
Well,
basketball.
so if you just go in order, you have, I mean, if you start in 1980, right? You have the Lakers. You have the Lakers with Magic and Kareem for the first time. You can't tell me, and that goes through 89 or 88, right? You can't tell me that a Magic and Kareem Lakers team, which also had a bunch of other good players,
Yep.
can't beat this group. There's no
Of
way.
course. No, of course
Like,
they can. Of course they
and
will.
then you have the Celtics in there too, who had a couple really great teams during the 80s as well. Like, playing physical defense didn't do anything to Larry Bird in the 80s. What's it going to do now? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're telling me you think Alex Caruso can go out there and guard Larry Bird? He's going to get
No,
eaten up.
I guess. All right. So I understand your point a little more because I enjoy basketball right now. If we're comparing eras, then certainly, yeah, it's not gonna compare.
Well, I'm just saying, find a team that they can beat. Find a previous title team that they can beat.
Nope,
I
I'm not
think
gonna argue that yet.
I think your argument is possibly the Dirk Mavericks because Dirk was, but again, Dirk's still the best player on the
Right.
floor.
Yeah.
Um, Possibly the Chauncey Billups Pistons, but they were super deep, kind of like OKC.
Right. Right.
So my thing is a lot of people younger than us want to argue basketball is getting better. People are getting better at basketball, more efficient, more, whatever. SGA went 8 for 27 last night, and Jalen Williams went 7 for 20
Yeah.
in a game seven. And that's efficiency. Like if that wasn't a loss, they would be goats and not in a good way forever.
And Shea
Forever
got
that.
got MVP basically by default with
Well,
that.
I mean, right, because
Yeah.
he, handles the ball the most, takes the most shots. He's the best player, gets to the free throw line a lot. But again, I think a great example of this series is if you call fouls, as I believe the game, dictates, you get the game six game where OKC gets blown out because they're in foul trouble and they're not getting to the line by flopping and they're putting them on the line by fouling them immediately past half court. If you call a game like they're Baylor, where you just let them be aggressive and, physical the whole game, you're not going to beat them. You can't beat them. So I think it's disappointing in that sense. It's also disappointing that Halliburton had 9 points in like 4 minutes before rupturing his Achilles. I think Indiana possibly is the most overachieving team of the last 40 years. I went through all the winners and losers, right, of title. I can't think of a team that's like this is not a great team.
Everyone and like the coach has to get immense credit. Everyone's talking about Carlisle, and how great of a coach he is, how much everybody likes him, and I that has to factor in. Like he really
No
did
doubt.
get the most out of these guys, and he was masterful with his rotations. They didn't lose 2 games in a row basically all year. I think the stat was I think it was like March was the last time they lost 2 games
No,
in a
right.
row.
They're like you're talking about Obi Toppin is on this team.
Right?
Awful.
Yeah.
Miles Turner, like these are
Let's
these Nemhard. These guys are not good. These are not great players.
So back to the Halliburton playing or not kind of thing, and I know it's a hard decision, but if you say, you know what, you're not at your best, I know it's the finals, but just you're hurting the team at this point, and we don't want you to hurt yourself worse. The guy, him going down the way that he did, the players said that it took the wind out of their sails. The Obi Toppin
Right.
said, I basically couldn't focus the rest of the game because I was just all I could think about was Halliburton back in the locker room because it's not even like he was on the bench cheering him on. He was back getting like the medical grind, grueling tasks, whatever. So that I think you also have to think about. You know, not only is it is he going to be at his best, but is it going to in a small group of men, is it going to hurt you really? So again, hindsight, but
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's um I'm a believer that he had to play. I again like I
it's
think
hard to say no. It's
it's
hard to
like
say.
a 10% chance it could happen, maybe
Yeah,
less, probably less than that.
yeah.
And you just like your starting five is Siakam, Aaron Nesmith, Miles Turner, Andrew Nemhard, and Halliburton. Like these are Nesmith, Turner, Nemhard. These are not guys. These are not starters on a lot of other teams. McConnell's great off the bench. He's a super energy guy. He's a really good player. He's probably not a starting guard in the league. He plays a role very well. But you have nothing off the bench. You have Obi Toppin. You have Mathurin. Shepard. Like these are like Dan Lebatard keeps saying that this is the best Indiana Pacers team of all time. I don't think so. I think that Reggie team that took Jordan to the brink in '98 was better.
Sure.
So like I think that I think this would have been an all-time choke job if OKC blew
Oh
game
yeah.
6 and 7 all time. Like
Yeah.
truly all-time NBA choke job.
Well, especially they got worked in game 6. Like that was like a whoa.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I I don't you're excited about basketball and I'm glad you said that because I'm not very excited about it. I don't Durant got traded to the Rockets. That's, he in spite of barely going to the playoffs the last few years, is still dictating terms
Yeah.
on where he wants to go and for what. And there are still plenty of people who are arguing Durant's not the problem. He's so good when he plays, blah blah blah. He's getting older, and at some point you got to be on a winning team. Whether, you can't just blame your teammates all the time. Like,
Yeah,
so.
we were texting about this. I mean, to me, he's right at the top of the list of great players with loser energy. His talent is undeniable. He's still putting up 27 points a game at his age and everything, but he's plays defense, he's a rim protector, all that stuff. But he definitely like he's never seems satisfied. Whatever,
Right.
even when he gets himself to a new place, he's immediately unhappy and immediately like the big three, whatever the new big three is, doesn't work, even though how could it miss, So he's a guy that and like
I
Harden,
don't I don't think he was happy at all when he won those two titles in Golden State. I don't
right?
think he was happy at all. Like,
That was probably because he was not like a main guy, the
he
main
was the
guy.
Finals MVP though,
Was
both
he? Okay, I
years.
didn't realize that. Yeah.
So it's so bizarre how, like,
Yeah.
I agree with your loser energy, but it's funny that you say that because there were people in our group chat that didn't agree with it.
Right.
And so even now he's still polarizing, where some are just like, he's awesome, he's an awesome player, his jump shot is so smooth, he can get buckets anytime or whatever. I mean, he got swept by the Timberwolves 2 years ago and didn't make the playoffs last year.
So
So,
let's think about like the theory of the big three really hasn't worked anywhere. Every time, I mean, I guess LeBron, Bosh, Wade, but like I guess that's one that worked.
but
But
they won two.
and
They
I
were
still
supposed to win like five, you
and I
know?
still maintain this was really like LeBron. I'm not the biggest LeBron lover in the world. He's annoying at this point, but several times he put teams on his back and won. The bubble Lakers, Exhibit A, right there. So I think my point is like these recent instances of the big three, what they're missing, and it's because of salary cap. The way that the teams are made up with salary caps. You give all your money to three people. You don't have your starting lineup is obviously has weak points, which you can target, and then you have nobody off the bench. And the recent team, the Pacers and the Thunder, we saw were super deep teams with talent up and down. Everybody plays defense. You can't put anybody, you can't key on anybody. I think that is a better recipe for success than trying to have three big names. Maybe one or two, and then take that other money and spread it around so that you have depth. I think that's a better recipe for success, nowadays.
Well, I mean, one thing that's really obvious is that the Thunder's front office knows what they're doing. They're compiling picks for, you know, maybe superstars that are either loser energy like Paul George, or, or what are on their way out, you know what I mean, or not in their prime. But I think what you're reminding me of is that I think players have too much power now. They think they can just get it with two other guys and, oh, we're gonna be the best team. You just watch. But none of them seem real happy with it. You know,
And Durant was basically just traded for nothing when you think, I mean, it was really small.
Jalen Green's good.
He's good, but like it's still not a haul when you compare it to the other trades that happen that are not forced or not, dictated here or there. I guarantee you, had he gone to the Warriors, because he found out about it in the Knicks the Warriors trade earlier, I
Yeah,
guarantee you that would have been a bigger haul. Because the player wasn't dictating the situation, taking all of the leverage away from the team.
yeah. It's he and the Timberwolves, I guess, had an offer too, and he didn't want to go to Minnesota. Like, it's just so weird. It's like,
Yeah.
you want to go to Houston and be the man, but you don't want to play with Anthony Edwards. Like, you
Yeah.
could probably get there easier. I don't know anymore. I don't think that Kevin Durant maybe cares about winning a title. I don't know what
Probably
he
not. He wants to get another 2 years at 60 million, it seems like probably.
yeah, I mean, Well, that's the thing is none of these guys have to worry about money. Like they all have huge amounts of money. Contracts are huge in the NBA. So,
Doesn't mean they still have it though. It means they got it. Doesn't mean they still have it.
I mean, be pretty hard, right?
I know. Yeah.
Go through all that.
So,
Uh,
it is a lull in sports now. We have this week we do have the drafts. We have the NBA draft Wednesday, starting Wednesday, and we have the NHL draft starting Friday. Um,
okay.
definitely, NBA draft has been called a two-player draft for a while, with Cooper Rush and
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Rush, Cooper Flag.
Dallas
I
Cowboy you
do
just
that all
named?
the time, don't I? Cooper Flag and Dylan, not Bender, Dylan.
I thought it was Ace Bailey or the other one.
No,
Harper Jr. No, not who
Dylan
was it?
Harper. Dylan Harper is the guy
Harper.
who's the consensus number two, and why they're calling it like a two-player draft. Um,
I mean, Flag's is the number one.
of course, unless Nico pulls a Nico. But
That guy.
could the Sixers go from 3 to 2 to get Harper? That would be interesting. Here in Philly, they've talked about
Is he kind of like a maxi though?
isn't he's a bigger player, isn't he like a
You know what?
three?
To be honest, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure. So the problem is we do have a lot of guards. So the problem is you don't really want to take another guard because now you have like kind of too many to deal with. Um, I believe, let's see, Dylan Harper, 6'6", 220. But it says point guard, shooting guard, but that's a 6'6" guard. I mean, that sounds
Yeah,
like,
that's a guard. That's not a big.
yeah, it's not a big. Um, but anyway, so we got the draft, the NBA draft Wednesday, and then hockey draft. I mean, you got anything on hockey? The Flyers made a trade today from the Mighty Ducks, which I know you are a Ducks aficionado. Do you know this guy,
The movie I am.
Trevor Zegras? Was he on the team in the movie back then too? Have you
I don't know.
anything on Trevor Zegras?
No,
So
no,
Flyers traded for him today. He's a center.
nothing.
No.
I mean, I don't know if you watch hockey playoffs, but obviously I think this Florida Panthers team might be the best I've ever seen.
So when you have a goalie like that, so obviously both teams are good. And then when you think about Bobrovsky's like, as doing as great as he is, and Edmonton's trying to decide who to start in the last game, that tells you everything you need to know right there. That
Right.
who's going to be starting in game 6. So yeah. And the
Hey,
Flyers took Bobrovsky, gave him away. I was looking at
yeah.
some Trevor Zegras highlights. Apparently he had he's got some flash to him. He had a Michigan goal for the Ducks. You know what that is, right?
What? No.
The Michigan goal is when they're behind it and they lift the puck up.
Oh, that's what that's called?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like
Because the guy for Michigan did it?
I guess so. It looks like a lacrosse goal.
I take
of.
offense to that.
Yeah.
I'm from the state of hockey.
Yeah. But he started his career with two 20-goal campaigns and then has since missed time. He's only 24 though. He's since missed time for injury, and he's poised to hit free agency next year. So they're basically like cutting bait before they have to try to pay him or whatever. So
we
assume the Flyers are going to look to re-sign him if you're trading players and draft picks for this guy. But
all right, we have to cover this.
Yep.
Is McDavid not an all-time great if he doesn't get a title?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, I think I've heard some discussions on this. The difficult thing is in hockey, you're only on the court or the ice a third of the time. So even your best player is only out there a third of the time. So if you equated that to, basketball or baseball or something, it's greatly different. I think everybody was watching him that was watching that series, and he seemed to come up small.
He really no-showed in the final.
Yeah. So even in the limited time he was on the ice, And I don't see this guy a lot. I don't watch their regular season games, so this is the most I've seen of him. I didn't see anything spectacular. So he definitely he'll need to do more than that. Otherwise, he'll start to get a choker, mentality, which I think answers your question that yes, he needs one.
Yeah, I mean, he was not the best player on his team
Right.
during the final. I mean, so
If he was great and he had 2 goals every game and the goalie couldn't stop anything, then you could argue he did everything he could.
I think he had one
He
point.
didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, like that's sort of the extent of my hockey conversing, it's like
Eh,
we can this Florida team might be the best we've ever seen. Like they're so deep. They have like 4 lines of depth. It's insane.
And they kept on, well, they won the cup last year and then they added Brad Marchand, which is like, holy shit, we're going to take like a captain from another team and just add him to this mix. They kept showing Connor McDavid like the last year when they were celebrating on the ice, they kept showing them like in the locker room all sad and McDavid's yelling at people and stuff. And then, 1 year later, the exact same thing happens. Like it's not he may have been mad, but didn't exactly do anything to change the outcome.
Well, now it's not easy to get to the Stanley Cup. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
so, the fact that they're there two years in a row, and remember, Florida was there the year before even and lost to the Knights, got crushed by the Knights, and they were very injured, and so I mean they almost had a damn three-peat, and they still have a chance at it. So I mean, I, I thought it was good in the sense that we had when was the last time we had same two teams playing each other for a title 2 years in a row? Hasn't
Right.
happened in a long time. So that was good. It would have been better, I guess, if Edmonton would have won and then, maybe they run it back a third time. But I was disappointed in the Knights. Knights really just kind of did not show up against Edmonton. I actually thought that was sort of the Western Conference final right there. Whoever won that was going to go to the cup. They just, even the game we saw, the Knights just didn't have it.
Right.
They're good, they're talented. There's just something missing from that team this season. Which again, we're so spoiled out here. You know, we got one title. We've been to the Stanley Cup another time. We've been deep in the playoffs many times. So
Right. In a really young franchise.
right. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? You want to talk baseball?
Sure. I saw I think the A's are building their stadium there, right? I think I heard that today. Do you know
I
if you
guess. I didn't think it was a done deal, but I guess.
I think it was news today. They said that
Yeah, it is.
commencing building the stadium.
It is, but I didn't think the deal was done. That's what's weird about it.
Yeah. So sometimes teams just talk things into existence. I
I
think.
get, yeah. I mean, I guess they really wanna be here. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I would love to have professional baseball here. Um,
Yeah, it says they A's to hold Las Vegas Stadium groundbreaking. The news is that they're going to be doing the groundbreaking, so it sounds like there's a deal.
yeah. I,
Do you know where it is going to be? Where
I
this stadium
think it's
is?
gonna. I think it's over by the. Do you know where Tropicana was?
Mm-hmm.
On that side of the street, and they imploded it a couple years ago. So kind of over in that area.
Okay.
So I think I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure you got all kinds of root or whatever that concert was where a bunch of people got shot up as part of your building area. I don't know what the
You think there's some bad karma there?
well, I don't know if that's cool or not cool. I don't think they've been using it for anything. I don't think they created like a memorial, so I guess it's fine, but that's a weird one.
It's not the greatest energy to start with. Yeah, I feel you. And there's
Well,
there's
I just don't know how I would feel if I was there
right,
at that concert and
right.
or lost a loved one, and now they're kind of building uh over it. I Vegas is very different. We walked the strip a little bit that night after the
Hmm.
game. The strip is not the same energy as probably even 10 years ago.
It
Or
has
for
to
sh
do with the fact there's more widespread gambling in other places. It has to, right?
it's possible. I just think also part of the problem is from a Vegas standpoint is that they're trying to go for like all fancy, right? So, 10 years ago or 12 years ago when I moved here, however many years ago, 14 years ago, I guess, Jesus, there was no hockey stadium, and the area of Excalibur, New York, Monte Carlo, which is now Park MGM, those were all fine places to go and gamble, play poker. You could play at all of them. And now it's like, oh, Excalibur, that's a dump. Or New York, that's a dump. Park MGM, that's being built up nice. It's like there's no in between anymore.
Gotcha.
And I miss the in between places. Um, and you're just getting crazier shit. Did you see the dude who gunned down two people right in front of the Bellagio?
Yeah.
Like that's
By the fountain.
a
Yeah.
lot of stuff like that is happening lately. It's not walking the strip is not the same as it once was. It's just not it's just very different. And I actually have no, I've noticed a big difference since COVID. When
So
that
I know,
happens.
and granted, nothing compares to Vegas, but Atlantic City is our kind of East Coast Vegas. And
Sure.
as soon as we got, everybody in Philadelphia used to go across the bridge, and it's not far to get to AC. As soon as we got casinos in town here, and I want to say it's something somewhere in the last 5 to 10 years, somewhere in that range, Atlantic City's really like died because they've
Yeah.
lost all of that Philadelphia traffic and a lot of the burbs. You just don't have to go there. So several of the casinos closed. The ones that are still there are hurting more. There's more crime in the town.
So I trained out there. I trained a group of people at Ocean Resort 6 years ago.
Hmm.
Probably the only big and fancy one there.
Yep.
And they were, even then, it was a super nice looking place. Dead, completely dead.
Yep.
Nobody was there. I'm sure they were hemorrhaging money. And in general, yeah, that town, you don't want to venture 2 blocks away from the boardwalk. I mean, like,
Yep.
and you're saying it's worse now because it was pretty bad then,
Wait, how long ago was this?
6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, this is the range that I've, been there. It's probably the same.
Right,
It's just not, yeah, it's definitely a rougher town with
for
just
sure.
casinos here. They're not like what it used to be where you could just stroll up the boardwalk and it was beautiful. It's still a decent shore point, by the way. For just going to the shore, not
Yeah.
going to the casino,
Do you have to pay though?
um
I
I don't
saw I saw some people like, or they were checking bags or something
I
of
thought
people.
beach was free access there, but I could be wrong. Some of
Huh.
the Jersey beaches, you need beach tags. Some of them are free access. I thought that one was free, but I could be wrong. Um,
Okay.
and
I
then,
mean, I didn't actually go down there, so I saw like a security guy, kind of like a spot where people were going in,
yeah,
and I don't know if he was ta taking payment or just checking bags or whatever the deal is, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
um,
Um, but when we look at baseball, so the Phillies are back in first place after a crucial
yeah, Mets have been
series
awful
win.
lately.
Yeah, and for us, we were doing our thing, they were doing their thing, and then when it was tied, when it was back to tied, we had a series against them, which was awesome, and we took the 2 out of 3 up in New York, so that was good. Harper is supposedly cleared to be back, but he hasn't come back yet. The owner, they specifically made a comment that he has been cleared, basically putting it on him now to be like, all right, dude,
Okay.
not covering for you anymore. So he's coming back. Um, when I look at the other divisions, I mean, the Tigers are just absolutely running away with that division. The Guardians are 8.5 back.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so that one's basically over. Yankees, Rays are in second place, 2.5 behind the Yankees. That's pretty interesting.
This Rays thing is crazy. I
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, me neither. Um, and let's see. So the Phillies got the Astros coming up, who will always be, cheaters in my mind. When was the last time have you been eliminate? You've eliminated some baseball teams. It's been a while.
Man, I don't even remember who.
Me neither.
I remember I eliminated the Braves. I know I eliminated the Mets.
Yep.
Um, I I don't think I eliminated the Phillies.
I don't think so, but you may have eliminated the Marlins and the
Yeah,
Nationals.
Marlins and Marlins for sure. I think
I
I
think you
did.
eliminated our whole division, but us.
That makes sense actually. I
Yeah.
well, of course, when I eliminated the Mets, they went on this huge run, but now they suck again.
Yeah.
So I thought instead of that, we could, you and I could take pick we'll pick one World Series matchup that we actually legitimately believe in, and well, let's do like a dark horse one, like a like a watch out for this team to come out of the American League, or watch out for this team to come out of the National League. So we'll I so before we do that though, I actually think the American League is really bad. I think it's really down.
Yeah.
I think that it's I know the Astros have like a 5 game lead. They're not as good as they were before. You're not losing Bregman and a bunch of guys and Tucker and getting better. You're just playing, the A's have really underperformed. The Angels are actually not that bad record-wise, but that just shows how weak the American League is. Seattle underperformed. Texas, what a disappointment they've been. They have like this talent, but they just can't put it together ever since our World Series run. Injuries. Boston isn't as good as they should be. Like when you have the Blue Jays and the Rays performing like this, to me, that doesn't mean they're good. It means that everyone else isn't as good.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, the Central is all but over for American League. So, but then I think the National League's really strong. Cubs are good. Phillies are good. Mets are good. Dodgers are good. Giants 10 games over. Padres are still good. Brewers are 8 games over. Cardinals are 7 games over. Like what the Braves are 5 games under, and you know, they have all these good players.
Yeah, and they started really rough. So by the way, the trade deadline is July 31st. So we're just about a week and a month out from that. I think that factors in when you think about what team is going to make a run for it. You also have to think about what team has the ability to add at the deadline.
Right.
Um, which definitely figure like the big market teams like the Yankees, the Phillies. Um, I don't see the Tigers adding, even though we're really good right now. I don't see the Cubs adding, even though they're good right now. Um,
I actually think the Tigers will just because they're in such a good position to be a 1 seed that I think they're all in. I think
okay,
they're all in on this being the season.
okay.
So, all right. So you got a World Series matchup?
Yeah, I think give me Tigers Cubs.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Um,
I got to change mine now because that was gonna be mine. Uh, I I I think the Tigers will add someone, and I think you know, I think their manager is one of those old Astros cheater managers from back in the but like the dude wins, right? And they got into the playoffs somehow last year and they were scrappy and they took out the Astros and then, played well. I think they were just building something from last year. So I do like that Tigers pick. And the Yankees aren't any good. I know that they have wins and they can get some runs, but
I,
they don't
you
have
know,
pitching.
I'm thinking about them exactly. The pitching. I'm thinking about that. I'm like, well, they're probably going to add at the deadline. They'll probably pick up another starter, but they just don't have playoffs is about the rotations, and especially when the rotation shortens up. I just don't think they have the horses to go against a lot of the teams, including the Phillies, like when it comes to the starting lineup or starting rotation. So
Yeah. Um, I'll stay with the Tigers and I really didn't want to pick the Dodgers. The only problem is they're just so deep.
yeah,
Like, it's just insane. Like it's gonna be so hard to beat them.
right.
Like you would need the Phillies could do it. The Phillies could be hot, could get hot, and it would be better for the Phillies, I guess, if they were a 2. Maybe not facing the Dodgers until the NLCS, or who knows? Maybe you want them second round. Maybe you want. Maybe you want the Dodgers to be the two and or them to be 2-3.
I know we caught them off of the bye week a couple years ago and beat them when everybody thought they were unbeatable, and we were sort of a surprise team. But definitely the bye week, I think, hurts teams in baseball. I think.
I'm with you on the Cubs. I think they're scrappy. I think they hit well. I think this is what they envisioned when they stole Craig Counsell,
Mhm.
second year. So I like them. Um, what do you got for a dark horse out of
Um,
each?
so I didn't pick the Phillies in the World Series matchup, but I would like to pick them as the dark horse team because they're playing well right now, still without Harper, still without Nola.
I
No,
don't know. 16 games over 500, dark horse.
okay, yeah, I guess that's okay.
I mean,
That's fair. I'll back off of that one.
I mean,
Basically, my point was I'll back off it as a dark horse, but basically my point is they have a lot of room to still get better. They're missing two key
yeah.
people.
I mean, anyone with the Dodgers, I guess, is a dark horse, right?
And there's another interesting thing too. So Jose Alvarado was our power lefty reliever who got suspended for 80 games for taking one of those drugs that's like a weight loss one of the ones that was a DJ in Ron's
Okay.
thing. Um, but he got suspended 80 games and the playoffs, but he's going to come back for the end of the regular season. And I think they're just going to ride him to like basically he's going to give the whole bullpen a rest at the end of the season. So we're going to go into the playoffs with a real fresh bullpen. You know,
Yeah.
so that's a weird factor. But let me think of a different dark horse team. If you're ready with yours, let
I'll
me.
take, you know what? I'll take the Giants. I think they're scrappy. I think they have a winning culture. They had a couple down seasons, but they before that they were good every season. They lost that really close series to the Dodgers when they were the one seed. I think I and what they're showing with that Devers trade is they're not playing for they're playing for this season. Like I think they think they can hang in there. They were projected to be under the Padres and Diamondbacks, but I don't think they're thinking like that. I think they're like, nope, we're better than them. We're gonna get in as a 4 or a 5, and we're gonna be a tough out. So, I think it's possible.
Yeah, and they've consistently lost in free agency, and like Devers was one of the
Yeah,
guys they were reportedly bidding on, and then the fact that they make up for it with this big trade that everybody says they won on, it's pretty interesting that they didn't give up. They got creative and made it happen another way. Um, well, for me, huh, I guess a dark horse, you know. So these guys are 10 and a half back right now. Um, the Atlanta Braves.
oh, I knew you were gonna do it.
So, I mean, if you're just thinking about how poorly they started, and the stat came out like no team has ever made the playoffs or starting 0 and 8 or whatever, but they were missing all their stars at the start. They're coming back. Um, I
Um,
think
they have players. We know that.
yes. So I don't think they're a great team, but I do think they're the kind of team that they eke into the playoffs and then you're afraid of them. They're a team that nobody wants to see in the playoffs, especially in the first round. So I guess the Braves are going to be my dark horse there.
All right, I can live with
And
it.
even if they make the playoffs, that's a dark horse. I know we're looking for more than that, but where they started, that would be an accomplishment, and I think they have like the ability to do that. So or better.
I don't hate it.
All right.
All right, now I'm gonna give you a American League dark horse that I'm almost positively gonna regret
Okay.
because I feel like this one is much more wide open when it comes to like wild card, who can get in, who can do some damage. So God, they're only a game out of the wild card and they've been this bad. So it was either going to be the Rangers or the Red Sox, just based on personnel. But I'm going to go with the Red Sox. The Rangers have just burned me. I know they're out right now. I know they've underachieved, but they're still one game over 500. I think they're finally getting it together a little bit. And because they were projected to be 86 win team. And so, I mean, which seems optimistic now looking back at it. But I think they may I think Tampa and Toronto may regress a little bit to where they were projected. And in that case, that would be Boston, I would think, moving on up. And right now, it's just too wide open. I almost went with the Royals. I'm really surprised. I thought they would be better after being a playoff team,
Yep.
but something wrong with them. I don't.
Yeah, the Red
And
Sox,
Boston will probably make a move. They'll
right,
be like, we're not out of it. Fuck it, you know.
right. And
So
I think with the Red Sox, like moving Devers was more of a personality thing than anything else, and
yeah,
that freed up money for them. Then I could see them adding because they cleared that money up with someone they didn't like personally, and now they have, that they definitely crossed my mind. I won't pick them since you did, but winning culture seems like they have won the World Series when you at least expect it to,
yeah.
so they're definitely one of those teams. I guess give me the Guardians. They are 8.5 back, but they play the Tigers a lot. They play the Royals and the Twins, who are both good. So I think um they're better than and I don't watch a lot of Guardians games, but I'm gonna theorize that they're better than their record says, that they play a lot of good competition regularly. And they could be a dark horse once they get outside of playing teams outside of their division. Maybe they can really show off a little. So
Thought about them. I actually think they've overachieved so far.
okay.
But they're solid every year, right? They're in it. They're never like one of those teams, you know what I mean, that's out of it. So you can't hate it. They still have good players. They have some decent pitching, you know. I think just not quite enough, even if they make the playoffs to really, get hot. That's why I almost went with the Rangers because we know that they have the players to, if they get hot, go far. But it's a matter of playing a goddamn 162 game season and not being 80 and 82. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a little interested in baseball now. I need to build up a little bankroll before football. So,
Football is definitely the best betting sport. I love that much betting.
no doubt.
Yeah. And I am very much looking forward to the NBA draft on Wednesday.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens. I do think you could see some maneuvering around. And we'll see if the Sixers stand pat at 3 or if they try to get creative. But is there going to be a watch party? Has there been
I don't
any?
know. You should ask Ron. Maybe
Yeah,
he'd throw something together quick.
yeah, I
I'd
have.
be interested in jumping on for like the first hour.
Cool. Okay. Me too.
Um, I think we should conclude
Yep.
with a football thing because football rules all.
Yeah.
Each of us has to give one team that was not in the playoffs last year that we are absolutely 100% certain is making the playoffs this year.
Wow. Okay. So how do I find who was in the playoffs last year? All right, let me Google that real quick.
I
Um,
mean, I can help you. You had so in the AFC East, no Dolphins, no Jets, no Patriots. They all missed. Bills won the division. Ravens, Steelers made the playoffs. No Bengals, no Browns. Texans made it. No Colts, Jags, or Titans. And then Chiefs and Chargers. Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos made it. No Raiders. And that's AFC. And then the NFC playoff teams were Birds, obviously, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Packers, Tampa, and the Rams. I
hmm.
mean, and I'm not going to go the easy route and be like, oh, 49ers are going to be in the playoffs. That's too easy, I think.
I think they're going down. I think the Niners are getting worse before they're
Oh,
getting better.
really?
Anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
I like making a case for a lot of different teams. Like, not the Saints, who don't really have a quarterback. Their quarterback retired. Now they don't have one. Not the Panthers are going to be a little better. I think they're improving a little bit, but I think you can make a case for like the Bears. Maybe Caleb Williams will be good second season.
and
Um,
And this was a team. This is a team to make the playoffs, not win the Super Bowl, right? Just a
Just
team.
to make that we're 100% certain we'll make the playoffs.
Okay.
Like if we had the bet in front of us right now to make the playoffs, at decent odds like minus 140 or under, we would we'd bet we'd bet 140 bucks on it to win 100, something like that. Something that we really think can happen.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably is the obvious pick like the Cowboys. I mean, you can't do it personally, right? Probably because you hate them.
I I guess. I mean, yeah, they were only 7-10 last year. I'm already on record saying Commanders are going to have a down. That
Right,
the quarterback's going to have a sophomore slump.
right,
So that would kind of open the door for the Cowboys a little bit. I can't pick them. I can't nearly bring myself to pick them. But taking emotion out of it, it's not the dumbest thing in the world. Um,
right. I
it
feel
would,
like an obvious choice is like the Bengals.
yeah,
Although I do think they have defensive problems. I'm gonna go kind of in between that, right? And I'm gonna sort of go dark horse here. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
So I was
I
looking at them. That is the name I was going to say, and because didn't Gino go there?
Geno's there.
Yep.
I think Bowers is the best tight end in the league. I like Pete Carroll, and I kind of like the Raiders defense anyway before this.
Yeah.
You got Crosby, you got guys. I think Geno could have them, off to like a 4-1 or 4-2 start. I have legitimate concerns about the Chiefs. I really do. I actually think their window might be I think they hit their peak. I don't think it's gonna be they're gonna be in the next three AFC title games. Um Kelsey is old. Their wide receivers do not have it. Their running backs don't have it. So you can only do this Band-Aid stuff for so long. I think there's a possibility that the Chiefs miss the playoffs. Um, I'm with you. I'm not sold on a second-year quarterback like Bo Nix doing it again. So I think the Broncos may not be as good. Chargers, I don't know what to make out of Justin Herbert. He has all the tools, but doesn't seem to get it done. So I think the Raiders could be sneaky. Fourth place schedule. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I like it. They were the one that I was thinking also. I'm gonna go as much as I hate to say this because I don't like this team. I can't do it with the Cowboys, but I'll say the Patriots. I do think Drake
Wow.
May showed something there. They added Stephon Diggs. Ramondre Stevenson's legit running back. Um, the what's his name, Vrabel, out there with pads on, like hitting people, like it's from as a head coach. Like I don't think they're great. I don't think they'll go anywhere in the playoffs, but I could see them sort of catching a little bit of lightning in the bottle. I also think the rest of the division is down. I think the Dolphins are going to suck. I think
I mean, if this happens, if
yeah.
you and I hit the Raiders and the Patriots, we're probably the smartest NFL minds.
I mean, the Jets are going to suck. The Dolphins are going to suck. The Bills are the one class team in the division. So I think they've got some winnable division games there too. Um,
Right.
so I do think they'll catch some teams by surprise. Maybe like, finish 8, 9, 9-8, eke in the playoffs, you know. So take the Patriots as much as it pains me.
You're listening to the Half-Assed Podcast Network. Did you know that?